feeling is going into the season, and I'm looking at the weapons that Brock Purdy has at his disposal. This offense, realistically, I think it could be as good as any offense in the last 25 years for the 49ers. When I think about 49er offenses,
okay,
this offense coming into the season, I think could be better than any Harbaugh-led offense, Craig Roman offense that they ever had in the 4 years.
Yeah, but those offenses they got worse as it went on.
It did.
It tapered in 2012, but even as they were explosive, but they were a run-based team at the end that wanted to milk the clock and limit the amount of possessions. That was baked into the Harbaugh experience.
It was. But they had their fair share of playmakers. This offense, I think, has the capability of being the best offense in 49er history since the Super Bowl run. I swear to God. I'm looking at Niners 98 with Kevin Barlow and Hurst and all those guys and T.O. Rice. This offense, I believe, coming into this season, has the capability of rivaling that offense that last won the Super Bowl for the 49ers. And that was with Rice, Waters, John Taylor, Brent Jones, and, of course, Steve Young, who threw the 6 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. I think this offense could be as deadly this season for the Niners.
It's a lot on Brock's shoulders. When I think of because when I think of the greatest offenses of all time, typically there's a Pro Bowl quarterback at minimum in the middle of it, right?
Yes.
Typically.
Yep.
There are outliers like Randall Cunningham the year with the Minnesota Vikings. But Randall Cunningham was a very good player who was a Pro Bowler at times.
Right.
I don't know if he made it Pro Bowl that particular year, but when I look at some of the greatest offenses of all time, typically there's a superstar or close to it quarterback in the center of it. So it's a lot on Brock Purdy, a guy who, again, I'm really high on him. He's only played the 7 games.
So I'm looking at this offense in this way.
8 games.
McCaffrey's going to get 15 to 20 touches a game at least, right?
Agreed.
Deebo, you figure he's going to get anywhere from 6 to 9, 6 to 10 touches a game.
I feel like you can never predict injuries, but it feels like a safe bet that Deebo's going to have a very strong season. In contrast to last year where it was just rocky.
Brandon Aiyuk, probably going to get 6 to 8 targets a game, right?
Yeah, you would think. But
you would think.
The way this offense is, though, there are games where it's the Kittle game as opposed to an Aiyuk game.
Right.
It's an Aiyuk game as opposed to a Kittle game. So, but I think when the dust settles at the end of the year, I think that's a good number per game as we break it down.
Per game, when I look at the touches, when I look at the touches of Deebo, Kittle, Aiyuk, and of course Christian McCaffrey, I'm thinking to myself every single game between those 4 players, I can get 30 to 40 touches a game between those 4 players alone. Now, how much do you ask of Brock? Does Brock have to throw the ball down the field? Does he just have to get the ball in the playmaker's hands? Is his job really that hard in this offense? When you think about the weapons around him, I mean, Kaepernick had to make things happen, right? Jimmy at times had to make things happen. Trey Lance, when he was in, he didn't have George Kittle, didn't have Christian McCaffrey, had to make a couple things happen. Brock's job going into the season is, it's hard. You're the quarterback of the Niners. Play quarterback is hard. I get all that. But with the weapons that he has, his job is not as hard as, say, Daniel Jones. It's not as hard as, say, Dak Prescott, because all you got to do, hey, McCaffrey, here you go. Here's a toss. Here's a handoff. Deebo, let's run a jet sweep. Deebo, here's a quick wide receiver screen. I don't know, man. I just look at this offense. I look at this offense. I'm thinking to myself, this could be as good as that Super Bowl team back in 94, 95.
Well, I think about kryptonite for an offense. What can derail things? I think lost in the years since the Colin Kaepernick kind of decline.
Right.
Anthony Davis was in and out of retirement and not playing. And right tackle was a massive problem for the Niners. Aiyuk lost a step after breaking his leg. It's undeniable. They lost Jonathan Goodwin.
Right.
And Frank Gore kind of slowed down a little. No one wants to admit that. We love Frank Gore, but Frank Gore in 2013, 2014 was just not, he just wasn't the same player. Love Frank, one of my favorite players. But, he lost a slight step. So I look at someone like Christian McCaffrey, I'm 27 years old. You would think he's still in his prime, but if you go around the league in the history of the last decade, 27 is about the line where a lot of running backs do start to lose some juice. So not saying that's going to happen in this case. I'm just saying it is historically about when guys start to either get injured a little more, slow down a little more. He feels so unique that I don't even want to talk that into existence.
Yeah,
but it is a fair equation.
Yeah, my brain doesn't work like that.
And then I look at the offensive line, and I'm saying to myself, like, Jake Brendel was really good last year. Can he do it again? You know, the young guy Burford was a part-time guard last year. What's he look like full-time? You know, what does Colton McKivitz look like? You know, I think those are fair questions when we talk about just the offensive productivity, because we know, man, this league, if you have some weakness on that offensive line, teams are going to attack it.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, what's coming up in a game sponsored by 7-Eleven? We got some good stuff coming up. We'll explain it on the other side. Oh, wait, are we early? We're early. I heard 1 minute. Oh, one more minute. All right, 6:25. We'll do that here. So, look, there are weaknesses. There's going to be some plays, some mishaps. But my setting is, with Christian McCaffrey, I'm thinking to myself, you're getting prime years. He's in his prime. He's showing no signs of slowing down at all. And is it going to happen overnight? They'll see that in training camp. The reports out of training camp is Christian McCaffrey looks like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, he's dominating.
He's dominating. So I don't worry about him losing his step.
But it is the one position where it can vanish quickly.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, if I was an outside critic, this is what I would bring up.
What, the McCaffrey?
Just running backs in general tend to age quicker than any other position. And I again, it's not even fair. You're just asking, like, what would a cynic say? And I would say that a cynic would say, McCaffrey's a superstar. But about 27, 28 years old is when a lot of running backs show decline. He feels unique, but I'm a Niner fan, so maybe I'm blinded.
Maybe not.
It feels stupid to even say. I'm just trying to present the alternative opinion.
You're setting.
He's one of my favorite players.
Your setting is, boy, you are so worried. I got to get you. We got 18 days into the regular season, man. I got to get you excited about the season.
Would you at least admit, though, if McCaffrey does take a step back, that does change things a lot. Yeah, he can still be really good.
Yeah, I don't even. Where does that even come from? What makes you even bring up that? Hey, man. We'll bring it up on the other side.